Good day, YouTube. It is the 20th of October, 2023. This is my 1955's, best we could tell, Cushman Truckster. We're going to start the build. Actually, I've already got a video out where I was tearing the fenders and stuff off of it. Not positive the direction we're going to head with the fender situation at the moment. So I'm going to move on to the construction of the body because, well, that's really what I want to work on. And it does run, it does drive. I haven't gone through the back end of this thing yet. We don't have brakes that work on the back and such. Kind of went through the front end though, got a new tire on it and such. If you're not familiar, you can go back and watch some other videos, but this thing does it runs good. It drives okay. The fenders were trashed. One was rotted out. This one's beat to a pulp. And what we're going to do now is I'm designing as I go, but I'm going to give you a little rough idea of what this is going to look like. So sorry for the shadows. I'm not sure if I can get out of the shadows or not. But there it is. So this is going to be, it's a little out of proportion. I apologize for that. Because I want this thing to be 6 foot standing on the ground. And you can see the, again, shadows. This is drawn a little tall, but we're going to have a, well, kind of like a canopy, but with a roof over the driver's area in kind of a C-cab look. And the roof itself, if you look at it from the end, is going to have an arch. I'm going to, I've kind of pre-ordered some aluminum. I got to go pay for it today in a couple hours actually. It's at a really good price. I was only going to get one 4x8 sheet of aluminum to build this body, but I think that's cutting it too close, so I'm going to order a second sheet while I'm there, and we'll get that coming. So this is what I'm building, the platform to build this canopy, but there'll be more to it. I got a bunch of junk in the back still. There is going to be a slide out drawer that comes out the back. So you drop the tailgate and you pull a drawer out a ways and access tools. I can build the drawer almost to the height of under here. And then the tailgate will mostly close off that space. This canopy, if you will drop down the stake pockets. I'll put a nutsert in and bolt them in through these holes, here or here. I'll decide which one to use. This would be preferred. There's already holes in them, so we'll use the existing holes and not drill anything if we don't have to. So from about here down about 6 inches will be, this is all 1.5 inch, 1/8 inch square tubing. I bought plenty enough to do this project. I got one sitting on the saw ready to cut this piece over there, and I just kind of have everything stuck together so I can visualize. So if you put your visualization hat on the side, this is going to be framed out. This goes all the way up, over, and down. Once again, I want this 6 foot high because this is going to be a door that opens up 90 degrees, and I want you to be able to stand under it, okay, with this on the ground, not on the lift. So the door opens up, so it'll be framed inside. It'll be framed inside the framing, but it will seal up against here, okay? So all the way up, all the way over, and all the way back down, sealed up against that piece right there. Okay, so when it closes, it's flush here. Got it? Now, once this is in the up position, there's going to be one that hinges from the side, and it sits back here, and it's going to sit down on top of this. Let me grab something a little more to demonstrate. So it's going to rest up here, and it's going to sit down on here, giving you a work surface. So under this cover that I created with that door There's going to be a light and so forth. Inside of here will be a compressor, that compressor, and a generator, both sitting back here. I'll have to figure out what their position is. There'll be a cord reel from the roof structure. That cord reel, as you can tell, I've been picking things up for this. And a retractable air hose reel. So kind of like this. I love retractables. Out here in the barn, I have one right there. The real retractable, spring retractable. And the whole purpose for this is to take this vehicle with me to dirt track racing and take it in the pits and have some useful vehicle for doing stuff. So I want a plug somewhere around here for a set of jumper cables, for example. So I want to be able to plug in to jumpstart something. There'll be a battery charger in here. You'll pull out a cord reel, hook up battery charger. Someone needs a battery charger. It's just to do stuff like that. I don't have a super need to do stuff like that. I mean, I'm not that connected at the moment anyway to any team to need to provide that service. Everybody comes well prepared, but I wanted a purpose for this vehicle, and I think creating that will be a lot of fun. So I'm building it for the build, not for necessarily to use this as an end result. Does that make any sense? I really want to build it. I want to own it, and to say that it's a pit vehicle, a pit box with an engine in it, something like that, it'd be very unique. So I've been waiting for inspiration for this thing for a long time. I've seen a similar vehicle, a modern side-by-side that was done with a really cool toolbox on the back this summer, and click, that was it. That was the inspiration I needed to go further on this thing. I want to build it. I want to own it. And then when it's done, it'll be fun. I will take it in the pits. It will have tools in it. The drawer will contain boxed tools, like these socket sets up here, like this solder gun with some wiring stuff in it that's, you know, sitting there in that box. I've been picking stuff up for this all summer long, as you can tell. So what are we doing? Let me get this piece cut, and then we'll work on the four corners. We'll get those cut so we can actually start tacking this all together. All right, so now that you've kind of seen that a little bit, I'm going to build corners that go down the stake pocket about 6 inches, and then I'll have to verify this, but should be about, 45 inches will be this upright, minus that 1.5 inches probably, because I want this piece 48 inches long, because that will use my sheet aluminum very well. The end view shows this arch, so I'm going to take some flat stock, which I've got. I have one piece of it in here at the moment, just kind of sitting up here out of the way, and I've got a roller. I got a couple of them actually, to take and roll an arch into those, and to some of those flat pieces of 1.5 inches. And I'm gonna put, so visualize this as the top. I'll put one here at the center of that, of this 2 spaces, one here, and then one out, a foot out at the end. This is, where the C cab is going to be. You can visualize that a little bit. So it'll have an arch going that way, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll cover it with the sheet aluminum, and then we'll just have a break coming down the side a little bit, break coming down that side a little bit, and then we'll fit the sides, so forth on. We'll just kind of see how this evolves. So that, in a nutshell, is the build. So I have plenty of this 1/8 inch, 1.5 inch box tubing. So I need to cut that piece because it's exactly like this one. I've got it marked, it's in the saw. And then I've got to kind of mock up my height and make sure of my 4 corners and know what that height is going to be. We'll get those 4 cut so we can set these in. We'll mark our holes. We'll get nut certs in them so they can be bolted in place where they're going to go before we tack it, because I want this to sit all along the side. This is going to sit, got a little gap going there, but that's fine. I don't feel the need to have to fill that gap. It's not like I roll this thing down the highway in the rain or something. There'll be the gap on this side as well, but my toolbox will be approximately that high. We'll kind of go from there. Inside this thing, if you can visualize, you open up this door, you drop down a work surface, gonna be strong, okay? There'll be lights in here, lights underneath. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna catch a lot of attention. Somebody's gonna make me an offer on it one day, and they might own it. That's kind of the deal. So, all right, let me get to cutting. I'll bring you back when I got a little something more to show you. So this video, I'm not intending to be really long. I'm intending this to be kind of an introduction to the project and see if I can build what's in my brain. I'm having a hard enough time just explaining to y'all what's in my brain, but yeah, kind of go from there. So let's get to cutting. All right, I've been cutting and fitting, but as I showed you on my drawing, I said it wasn't really to scale, but actually it wasn't that far off, and that I didn't like this being this tall, this looking this tall. I wanted it to be 6 feet from the ground, but I didn't like how tall that was. And now that I've got it mocked up, I don't like how tall it is. The drawing wasn't that far out of scale. So now I'm watching, looking, studying, and to see how far down that roof can go. I can make the doors open up, these side doors open up more than 90 degrees to get them up high enough so a person could, work on something on these benches that I have planned. So I'm thinking 8 or 10 inches I got to take off of this thing. Let me grab a tape here. Give that a eyeball there. Yeah, probably 8 inches that they're too tall. And I probably should cut them off. I could just slide them down, but there's no reason to have the extra weight. We're talking 32 inches of steel total, so it'll take a few pounds out of it. So I'm going to study that. I might mock this up again and cut all 4 of those off to be a little shorter than that. Don't like the look, so got to roll with it. All right, here we go. All right, guys, I've got those cut down, and I moved the top rail to the outside because my door that goes up wants to be flush here and flush here, so it'll sit down on the face of this. Okay, there'll be a front panel fixed, side panel is a roof. It's going to come up over center so that you can get under it. A 6-foot person anyway. Drop down table. That's working good. I'm enjoying the process of thinking this thing through, getting exactly what I want out of this, but I'm going to take this slow. There's going to be a lot of episodes of this. I don't even know if I can finish this in 1 year, seriously, because I really want this thing to be everything I wanted it to be, and I want to build it correctly. Fit and finish, not that crazy. I mean, this thing's going to be a workhorse, going to get scratched every single day. So we're not going to go that crazy with fit and finish. It's in pretty good shape. We're going to sandblast it, paint it, maybe bed liner it. Haven't even decided color yet. That's for another day. So in the rear, we're going to have a door that opens up. Okay, so I've got to kind of figure all that out, where everything is going to set. Probably outside here. I think I'll have magnets that hold everything shut. I don't see the need to put latches or anything on this. Somebody needs something in here, I want it to be openable. I need gas shocks. I've been looking at gas shocks, what to put up here for gas shocks on all 3 doors. I'm probably going to have to order some because I don't really have a feel for what it's going to take as far as, you know, they're rated in 25 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, etc. I don't know what it's going to take and how much throw it's going to take to hold these doors. So, and I don't need them falling down on somebody's head. The one thing I've been thinking about a lot today is designing the pull-out drawer. So tailgate's going to come down, and I want to be able to grab a hold of a drawer and pull it out. I don't want it to roll real easy, but I don't want to drag, you know, put your back out if the thing's got 100 pounds worth of tools in it. So what I've come up with is, see if I can get you to visualize this. I'm going to build a plywood box. It's going to be, you know, the bed of this thing is about 1 foot high. This rail is about 14 inches, so I'll probably build it around 13 inches high. About 3/4 of the way forward, I want to put a wheel within the box. So I'll build a steel structure, bolt it to the plywood box so that a wheel goes down and rides on the truck bed, if you will. Just by a little bit. It doesn't need to ride by a lot. Just so that it's not quite balanced. It still wants to be front heavy, but be able to open the tailgate, pick up on the drawer slightly, and then have it roll easily, and then set it back down. That kind of gives it a break so it doesn't roll around easily. You can position the tools in there a little bit to make this lighter or heavier to pick up this back side. I want it to be as big as it can be, so all the way forward, all the way to the tailgate, so the handle will be either something that lays down and flushes out, or maybe it will just be a hand hole cut into the plywood, or a couple of them, something on that effect. Next, there's actually quite a little bit of room from the bottom of the tailgate down, and the vehicle that I seen on the IMCA Wild West Shootout dirt track tour in June housed a jack under the vehicle. I don't have room like, you know, over here for that, but on the back, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to utilize, so I've only made these bars go from here down 6 inches, so they're about to here. This is a very strong component, and I'm thinking of making out of 1.5 inch tubing, because I've got plenty, a rack that comes down and out, so there'd be a standing platform, so 1 or 2 people could jump on the back, stand there, and I'll put handles up on the roof so they could safely ride around the pit area on that. And then there'll be a space and then another bottom where a jack can go, you know, a nice aluminum floor jack. I have one here. I was looking at Harbor Freight. They've got some smaller versions. Race cars aren't very heavy. They don't have to be super heavy duty. I'll probably purchase a jack, physically smaller, lighter, that fits in there pretty cool, and then just have some sort of bracket. So you would just slide it in all the way to the handle and have some sort of bracket that would grab a hold of the handle, and so that it wouldn't fall out. So having that jack in there is going to be pretty cool. So that's some of the ideas I've got. This thing is really keeping my brain occupied, which is kind of something I need right now. So I'm pretty happy that I've started this process. I paid for my aluminum yesterday, and it will be ordered in like Monday. Today is Saturday. So that is coming. I ordered 2 4x10 sheets. I kind of appreciate Matthew Drager Racing for putting this out for all the racers to order all their aluminum so they can build bodies and stuff over the winter. And he let me jump in on that and get a couple sheets ordered. And for $100 a sheet, that's a bargain. So guys, I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to have many episodes on this as I get time to work on it over the winter. Pretty excited to get this build going. I will kind of remind you, I've got a jack under it here. I kind of leveled this out left to right. I aired up the right rear tire so it would sit level, and then I jacked up the front end so it would be level, so I can kind of get everything level and square. Everything is pretty close, but it's not perfect yet. It's not ready to tack together. Got some cross braces to build up on top yet, and then I'll start leveling, squaring, and we'll get it all tacked. My brain's running faster than that I'm working, but I want to let my brain get way out ahead of this thing so I don't make a mistake or put something together that I have to take back apart. So I like the way this is headed, really like the way this is headed, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Thumbs up on the way out the door, throw me a comment if you like the way it's headed. If you have a suggestion for me, I'm all ears, because I really want this thing to be cool. I'm going to build it one time. I don't want to come back and remodel it. So if you got an idea, throw it at me. I'd love to hear it. We'll see you guys next time.